Hi, my name is Shanee.
Hi, I'm Nelum and
To me, cooking is love. It's the way I express love.
Cooking to me is very therapeutic. It helps me unwind and relax.
So my friends say that I have the best tiramisu in town, but you guys have to try it yourself and find out.
At the end of a long, hard working day, for me it's very relaxing and very rewarding to be able to prepare a beautiful dish and enjoy it with my family.
To me, again, like I say always, cooking is simply love. I'd like to take you on a journey to my homemade and share some recipes that I would like you to try out in your own home.
Join with me. This is my homemade.
So start loving and get cooking.
I'm a food and travel blogger, and you can follow me on Food and Travel Escapades by Nell. I'm also the founder and the editor of the Brides of Sri Lanka magazine and website. I'm also a mother of 2 boys, and I was also awarded the gold at the Woman Entrepreneur of the Year. I travel the world quite often, and I like to try out different cuisine and exotic dishes from around the world. And if I really like them, I go and study how to prepare that particular dish from that particular country, just to make sure I learn it the most authentic preparations. Today I'm going to show you how to make a carbonara, which is a very traditional classic Italian dish, but we're not going to make it very, very traditional or authentic. But and also we are going to pair it with a yummy tiramisu. First off, my water is boiling on the other side, and you have to make sure the water is properly boiling, and you can see the bubbles. And at this point, you take a handful of pasta like that, depending on the quantity you're preparing. It doesn't have to be spaghetti, but I'm using spaghetti because that's the most classical dish. So you just take it, twist, drop in there, and let go. That's all. Let it boil. We're not going to touch it, but I'm just going to add a pinch of salt into that. I'm not going to add too much salt because the pancetta or the bacon will always have extra salt. Yes. I'm going to use chopped bacon and a bit of pancetta, but ideally I'm supposed to have some guanciale, but I don't have that. But you can replace it with bacon. Bacon will do. I'm just adding a little bit of pancetta as well, because the pancetta will actually add in a lot of fat to carbonara. Yeah, I'm just going to chop them up rough. As you can see, I'm not adding any oil into this because, again, the fat will have the oil. And I'm just going to, I think that's about enough. So stir that up so that the pan is well coated with the fat. And while that's happening, I'm going to use 2 egg yolks and 1 full egg. And we're just going to add that into a different bowl. At this point, the perfect cheese would be the pecorino. You can actually add parmesan as well, so ideally you can just grate that in just like that, and you want a fine grating of that one. This is going to be the base of your sauce. You must be noticing that I'm actually not going by any proportions. So there's a little additional thing you can do, which I've not really included in the recipe. You can take 1 clove of garlic. You don't really chop it up and use it in the carbonara itself, but I'm just going to crush it and just leave it there on the side for it to flavor or enhance the flavors of the bacon. Let that baby just sit in there for a bit. You want to go and check on your pasta. You can see that it's curled up beautifully now. So the most important part of cooking pasta is actually making sure you take them out properly. You don't want noodles out of a pasta. So you have to cook it al dente. I'll show you how you know done right. Just have to take 1 noodle out. Okay, there you go. Take the noodle, keep it like that. And when you cut it, it will gently break into 2. just like that. So you know it's done properly. If you want to taste again and just make sure it's properly done, it shouldn't be overcooked. It shouldn't be raw, just the right amount. Because half of it is anyway going to cook in the sauce as well. At this point, I'm going to take the garlic out. I don't need him anymore. Egg yolks and the cheese, and I'm just going to mix them up like that. This is going to be my sauce. When you are transferring the pasta, just make sure there is a little bit of water that comes in as well, because that's going to be helpful for your sauce, and you'd want some more water. So add a bit of water. This should stop cooking actually. At this point, it should just stop cooking. This is going to be my sauce. So can you see the sizzling just stopped? So that means it's the right temperature now for me to add the eggs, because you don't want to curdle the eggs up. Because what happens most of the time is that when you add the egg, because of the heat of the water and the bacon, the eggs tend to become very scrambly. Doing that. That is a creamy, beautiful pasta. I'm going to turn the heat off completely, and at this point I'm going to season it with some pepper. Just a handful. Pepper is to your taste. So if you want to add more pepper, if you like it a bit spicy, you could do that. So I'm just going to plate this up now. If at any point you feel that your sauce is dry, you can add in a little more water from the boiled pasta. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to use some pepper, just to Parmesan. And that's a beautiful carbonara, as authentic as it can get. So at this point, if you like parsley, you can add a bit of parsley if you want. You can chop it up and just sprinkle on top, just like I did with the pepper. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to eat it as it is, but I'm going to use them for garnishing. Bunch in there just for beauty and presentation. There you go, have it, a carbonara. Enjoy this pasta by myself. Fits very well. There you go. I feel like I'm in Tuscany. So guys, I'm going to make another classic Italian dessert this time to go with our carbonara. So what I need is some espresso. You can use a very strong coffee if you have, and I'm just going to, it needs to be cooled. And to that same thing, I'm going to add half the sugar. You don't really have to dissolve it completely. And I'm going to add a dash of Kahlua. Just mix it up nicely. And I'm going to set that aside. So I'm going to go ahead and beat the eggs, the yolks in first, along with the rest of the sugar. What we're looking for at this point is actually the consistency. I'm not using the whole thing because I had a little extra. I'm not going by proportions exactly, as you can see. What I want right now is actually for the consistency to become paler, and for the volume to increase at least twice in size, twice to 3 times. And make sure all the sugar is dissolved in there. You can see that the color is actually becoming lighter now. You can see it's much paler now, and I'm just going to switch it off. And the texture is very ribbony. There you go. So that's when you know it's done perfectly well. I'm going to set that aside, and now we're going to start whipping our egg whites in a different way. So I'm going to skip a step step forward, and I'm just going to actually beat in the whites and keep that aside because I'd rather have them ready when I'm done. Beat them again. I will show you the consistency again. And that's the soft peaks we are looking for. There you go. So this is what we are actually looking for, soft peaks. There you go, little peaks. You know how you know this is right? You turn it that. You do that, you know it doesn't drop, which means it's the right consistency. So I'm now going to take the egg yolks back in, and I'm going to quickly whisk with the mascarpone. I did the mascarpone in there. Don't bother washing the beater up again because you don't really need to do that at the moment. And I'm going to add the cream as well. And once you get into this rich, creamy consistency that you see right here, there you go. It's beautiful and rich and creamy. You want to taste a bit and see whether it's yum. That's yum. So we don't whisk the egg yolks into the same mixture. What are we going to, egg whites actually, we're not going to whisk them together. I'm just going to fold it in. So you take this and just fold it in. And just fold it in. Simply fold it. No beating, no hurry, simply folding in. So at this point, you can also add a few drops of vanilla. You can add it to the coffee or you can add it in here. Doesn't really matter. Just a few drops. Absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to lay out this beautiful dish. First taking the rich, creamy mixture in here first. You add it a little to the bottom first. Spread evenly. These are called Italian ladyfinger biscuits. These are now available at most supermarkets, but you can also make them from scratch, but I'm lazy, so I'm not going to do that. So I bought them from the supermarket. You're just going to dip it in there in your coffee liquid, coffee mix. Yeah, just make sure they're soaked and then start lining them up. Now these guys soak up pretty fast, so you don't want to keep them in there long. See, they break up. They're on a suicide mission here actually. And then once you have one layer of biscuit, just pour your cream on top again. Again, cover it up well. And we do another layer. If you run out of the coffee mix, you can make some more, there's no problem. We're just going to finish up with the rest of the cream. Just cover it up beautifully. So I'm going to start grating some dark mint chocolate because I like the flavor of mint coming in here. I know it's not traditional to add the mint, but I'll just keep doing that. This is a bit of a pain, but totally worth it. You make sure the chocolate's kept in the fridge because then the grating is going to be easier. That's it. Dust off the extras. So this is going to go into the fridge. So we're going to taste the tiramisu now, and of course it has not been in the fridge for the right amount of time. Otherwise I would have cut it up into a plate for you, but I'm just going to taste it from the dish itself. It's my dish. I'm going to taste it however I like it. Oh, that's beautiful. That's the rich creaminess you're looking for. Oh. My version of adding mint chocolate on top just makes a huge difference. So I want you to try it out and tell me whether you like it or not. And so what I made for you is actually two very classic Italian dishes. The Romans, they love the carbonara, and the tiramisu is like an all-time favorite in Italy. So I hope you enjoyed the two Italian dishes I made for you today, and I hope to see you on another episode of Homemade, where I bring you more recipes that you can make at home, but restaurant style.
guys, welcome to another episode of Homemade. I am the owner and head chef of Sugar Mummies Sweets and Treats. A lot of people ask me why the name Sugar Mummies. To me, I know it sounds a little cheeky, but sugar and the word mummy always meant a smile. Since I was a child, I used to always follow my grandfather around, my aunt around, to figure out what they were cooking because they made the best dishes in town. I never really understood until I grew up, it was always love. Being a mom of 2 kids and a co-owner of a salon, Makeover Studios, all I want to do in life is to spread love. So I ask you guys to join me as I take you to my homemade. Today I'm going to share with you a very special recipe called the Sugar Mummies Crab Cocktail. This is a perfect entree that many people are very afraid to try out in their own homes, thinking this is a typical restaurant kind of food. But I'll show you how simple and how easy it is to try it out yourselves. So let's get started. Alrighty, so for this, you're going to need these ingredients. Alright, so for this, the ingredients you guys are going to need is to start with some crab sticks, onions, cilantro, mayonnaise, tomatoes, cabbage leaves, salt, pepper, lemon juice, and my favorite, bell peppers. So I'll tell you what you need to do step by step so that you can try it out at your own home as well. First, we're going to mix the mayonnaise, the orange juice or the lemon juice depending on your preference, some salt and some pepper. Give it a good mix. Now some people actually like the flavor of garlic. So you can add in, if you like, some garlic powder to this same mixture. It depends on your taste buds. Once this is mixed well, we'll leave it aside. I'm going to chop up a few bell peppers. Why this is one of my favorite ingredients is simply because it has a really nice flavor. It's a little sweet, but a little spicy, and it's a whole combination of yumminess in a little fruit. So I'm going to try it out now. If you want to have the bell peppers a little larger, you can chop it up a little larger in size or thinner in size depending on how you like it. You can mix it up with some green bell peppers, some red bell peppers. Again, it all depends on your preference. Okay, so now that we have our pretty little colors ready, we're going to start adding it into our mixing bowl. First thing is we're going to put in our crab sticks. Now the crab sticks you can add in quantity wise, you can add in more or less depending on your preference. I actually like the crab flavor, so I'm going to add in a little more than normal. You can add in your bell peppers. Okay, we're going to add in our onions. The onions preferably should be white onions, but we Sri Lankans, we like our spices. So I would prefer using some red onions into it. Again, it's up to you depending on your preference. Add in a little bit of cilantro, some tomatoes, the cabbage leaves, and finally the mayonnaise. This entree ideally should be served with maybe garlic bread, some cheese toast. It depends. It simply depends on what the preference of the person eating it is. I, as an individual, love crab, so I prefer eating this absolutely on its own. You can add in a little bit of salt and pepper and give it a good mix. Alrighty, so it's time to plate up, and like I said, what you see is what you need to be enjoying first. Plating up is the most important thing, and I'll show you how to do it. So our crab cocktail is ready to be served. I like to do it Sugar Mommy style. A lot of folks like to serve the crab cocktail in a cocktail glass, and that's why it's named after a cocktail. But I like to do it into a crab shell. So I'm going to first start stuffing our crab shell. And the same to the next one. So I've come to the favorite part of the show, that's tasting what I've tried out right now. For me, I'm going to have a cocktail and the crab cocktail. Let's try it out. Perfection. Perfection at its best. You guys definitely should try this out. You guys are most welcome to try this out and drop us a comment on what you guys think of this recipe. Again, don't forget to put a comment on Hi Online under Homemade. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, stay blessed.